So while Goon 1 is one of the most enjoyable hockey films ever, and one can even argue one of the best Canadian films ever, it's arguable, whatever. Goon 2, on the other hand, is kind of a forgotten sequel. Because usually when you think of Goon, sometimes people forget that there is a Goon 2, and if people do remember that there's a Goon 2, then, you're like, how many people have actually seen it or really remember it? This is a film that I'm kind of on the fence with because, you know what, there's a little bit of everything, good, bad, anything in between. But I wouldn't really say that anything really outweighs the other. But that just some films are like that, and I did want Goon to Last of the Enforcers to either be more good or more bad, because the middle ground that this movie has, it just irks me. I want to comfortably give this film a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And with the star rating system, it's just hard to do so this time around, I'll be honest. A little bit of time has passed since the first Goon movie. Sean William Scott is still doing great with his Halifax team, and he's married. His wife is going to be expecting. Eventually, there's this new fighter that comes along. Well, this new Goon, and this new Goon is played by Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell's son named Wyatt. Now, I would say that Wyatt Russell's character in this is one of the biggest downfalls of the movie. He's really not likable. Well, he's a villain, right? Whatever. But he's kind of annoying when it comes on, and he's pretty obnoxious. Whenever we see Wyatt Russell on the screen, the movie just, those particular scenes, they just take a nosedive. At least in the first Goon movie, whenever there would be anyone villainous, or if there ever would be a really dramatic scene, we weren't wishing for that scene to end and move on from there. But with Wyatt Russell in this one, it's different. He's brought in to pretty much be Sean William Scott's replacement as one of the goons of the team. So one day they're playing some game, and Wyatt Russell brutally injures Stifler, and he pretty much can't play hockey for the rest of his life. Pretty much. He doesn't want to risk anything due to doctor's warnings, but still, he loves hockey, and he really wants to be a part of a team. He also doesn't want any boring desk jobs like selling insurance. While Wyatt Russell is on the team, he's annoying the hell out of the coaches, but he's like the GM's son, so the coaches can't really, even if they were to complain, just wouldn't do them any good. And he's not getting along well with really any of the team members. When Sean William Scott is watching some of these things happen, and he's really, really missing the sport, he's missing his friends, he really wants to do all he can to medically clear himself and go back on the team. Yeah, the feud between Sean William Scott and Wyatt Russell, it's not bad. Wyatt Russell, he's just not worth watching. Almost throughout the film, the ending isn't very good, but there is quite a bit of hilarity in this film. I wouldn't say that this movie is anywhere near as good as the first Goon movie. When there is a really good comedy in this, when there are some jokes that you just can't deny are funny, they really are off the charts in terms of actual hilarity. Sometimes when you're watching a bad comedy, you can see where they may have inserted some jokes, but they just fall flat. They're not funny at all. But with Goon 2, you can see most of the jokes in this, they land, and they land really, really well. It's pretty rare in this film where the jokes fall flat or they don't land well. And some of the seriousness in this actually is heartfelt. It actually is sincere, it actually earns a lot of its emotion. A lot of that stuff in this actually is good, and very rarely in this do we get anything that's like a cheap thing or whatever. And I wouldn't say that the fights in Goon 2 are better than Goon 1. I'm not going to say that the fights in Goon 1 are better than Goon 2. I would say that the amount of carnage and brutality that's presented in this Goon movie, they're pretty much even with one another. Even though Goon 2 does have more flaws than in the first one, the amount of good in this is so strong that it's able to erase and overpower a lot of the negativity. However, the amount of negativity and the amount of flaws that this movie has, it's a little too much for the amount of good to completely wipe it all out with. Yes, the amount of good that this movie has wipes out a lot of the negativity, but not everything. And that's ultimately why I'm really on the fence with Goon 2, Last of the Enforcers. But there's just a few things that I thought were very, very good. But, I want to be so honest and not to cheat with any sort of star rating system and say I'm too much on the fence. I'm not going to give this a thumbs up or a thumbs down. I can't give this movie 2.5 or 3 stars or 2 stars or whatever. I have to be honest. I have to be fair with this, okay? Now, Deck will give Goon 2 Last of the Enforcers from 2017 positive score 3 stars out of 4. There you go. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you again next time.